So over the past year, you guys have been asking here and there, and then it started to become more pushing to have me try out a fragrance called Oud Maracuja, which is usually not in my wheelhouse because I heard it was a rose oud fragrance, and my wife is allergic to rose, so I can't wear anything that has especially real rose in it. With that said, we had a live stream a few weeks ago that I had you guys choose which decants I was going to pick up from scentrush.us, and one of them you guys chose was Oud Maracuja. So I haven't worn it for obvious reasons, but I have tried it out about 4 or 5 times now, and I wanted to go through, talk to you about that, and then also talk to you about the clone of it and whether it is worth picking up in its place by ZOHA Aroma. This is Passion for Oud. How is it? How does it stack up to the original Oud Maracuja? Is it worth picking up? Is it a good replacement? I'll let you guys know that today. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, back at you with another video where I'm going to be talking about some fragrances, doing some whiffing and sniffing. But before we get into that, make sure that if you're not already, you hit the subscribe button. Also, hit that like. Again, we're at about 10,000 subscribers plus. I appreciate all you guys. Comment below. Let me know what you think about Oud Maracuja. If you've tried any clones, which one is your favorite? If you've tried this one from ZOHA Aroma. If you're not familiar with ZOHA Aroma, They sent me a few fragrances whenever I first started my channel. I had like 200 subscribers, and so the owner, Nafi, is actually a really nice guy. I talked to him a few times. They have some really good fragrances. I first started out with the Aventus clone, which is actually, I like it better than Aventus because it's a little bit more on the fruity pineapple side and a little bit less on the dark woody side, in which I actually like that more about it. Then they have this one, which is a clone of Torino 21. It's Mystic Mint and Citrus. Really freaking good. If you like Torino 21 and you don't want to spend the money, that one is spot on. Then they have another one. It's a new one. This is a clone of Altair by Parfums de Marly. And honestly, just get this. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I don't have any codes or anything like that, but I mean, they're like 30 bucks, so I would definitely recommend picking that up. And then they have some of their own originals. This is one of them called My Halis. It's a really, really nice fragrance, which I'm going to be going over here in a couple weeks. With that said, today that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Oud Maracuja by Maison Crivelli, I think is how you say it. And it's cloned by ZOHA Aroma. This is Passion for Oud. So this one I have worn on my skin, but only whenever my wife wasn't home. I have worn it 3 or 4 times now. As you can tell, there is a little bit missing from it. But Oud Maracuja, because it's a higher quality brand and I didn't want to risk my wife like getting any kind of allergic reaction or anything like that, I have tried it out a bunch now. And so what is it all about? So Oud Maracuja was really surprising to me. So yes, it is a rose oud fragrance. There's definitely rose, there's definitely oud, and it's definitely prominent. There's also some other facets to the fragrance. So it kind of reminds me of 2 fragrances if you mix them together and added an oudy backtone. And that would be if you kind of combine Lamari Porthole with Kajal Lamar. So you take that passion fruit from Lamari Porthole and you mix it with the rose, that kind of jammy rose from Kajal Lamar. Put those together and then add a bit of oud and saffron behind it. And then the oud starts to pick up as you start to get to the dry down. High quality, definitely like a dark tropical fragrance, almost in the realm of something that you would wear Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum. It's almost like that beachy tropical fragrance, but like Kenzo Homme Eau de Parfum is like a dark blue beachy fragrance, which is kind of weird. You don't really see fragrances like that often. But Oud Maracuja, it's not in my ideal wheelhouse of fragrance, and still to this day I can't wear it personally. But it is very nice. It's for the people out there who like the Lamari Portholes of the world, the Kajal Lamars. You have to like darker fragrances, because this is still going to be darker. It's still going to be a bit jammy, and if you have to like rose. So when it first starts out, you do get that passion fruit. The passion fruit is there front and center, and you also do get a little bit of a sweet and spicy mixture from the saffron that blends together. Very beautiful. It's a high quality passion fruit that reminds me of the passion fruit from Lamari Porthole. Then you get that jammy rose. That jammy rose does take a little bit forward of the fragrance for the next like 35, 40 minutes mixed together with that passion fruit, where it does come off unisex, leaning a bit feminine, kind of in the middle. But it's a really nice mixture. So like the way that they blend together the passion fruit and the rose is not too much. It's almost how, like, that's why I kind of compared it to Kajal Lamar. That fragrance can be a bit much, but the way that they blend this together is just like the way they blend the pineapple with that Jamie Rose and Kajal Lamar. They blend the passion fruit and the rose in this. And you can also sense, again, that saffron behind it, a little bit of a like a lighter woody tone, and then you have that oud. The oud is very, very beautiful. It's very high quality. You can tell that the Oud Maracuja is a high quality fragrance. It's made delicately with a lot of really nice naturals blended with synthetics that are masked. And then so you blend that all together, and you subdue that oud underneath it until you get to the dry down, which then the oud pops up, and it never becomes animalic or anything like that. And that passion fruit rose part does stay there. It's just after about 45 minutes to an hour, that is whenever the oud kind of pulls up and blends together, and they all become like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Like passion fruit, rose, and oud just blends all together, and it's more of like a darker tropical fragrance with a woody backtone and a little bit of a sweet and spicy saffron mixed in. It's simplistic. It's nice. I've smelled it before. It's not in my wheelhouse, but I know a lot of you guys will like it. So, how does the ZOHA Aroma clone stack up? Well, as far as the performance in Oud Maracuja, it is a heavy projector. Just like Kajal Lamar, it's going to push out a lot, and it's going to push out for a long time. This would be considered like an extrait de parfum as far as like how well it pushes out. And the ZOHA Aroma clone is right on top. If not, it dials it back just a bit. And then as you get to the dry down, the Oud Maracuja still blasts in your face for about 6 to 8 hours, and then it starts to come down. While the ZOHA Aroma is about 2 hours, and then it starts to come down a bit, and it's more of a personal bubble. So if you're not one of those people who like the really heavy pushers, then I would probably go with this over the original Oud Maracuja. But with that said, how does the smell stack up? So there are noticeable differences. This is an inspired by concoction. All of the ones they do are. And while some of them get them closer to cloning and less to inspired by, this one is more kind of in the middle. It does have, you can tell right away it's Oud Maracuja. It has that passion fruit. It has that, as soon as you smell this, you know, there are styles of fragrance out there that have done this before, like the rose oud, but then you add that passion fruit and the saffron, and even on the side of here it says rose, passion fruit, saffron, patchouli, leather, oud. And while I don't really get much of the leather in this one, and there is a little bit in the Oud Maracuja, it's just kind of, again, blended in there. These fragrances are very much centered around, again, passion fruit and rose in the opening with a woody undertone and a little bit of saffron. And then as you get to the dry down, you get that oud pulling up a bit. In this one, the only main difference is that passion fruit kind of fades a little bit earlier. And so if you want more of a woody take on Oud Maracuja, then this would be the one. But with that said, it is getting it very, very, very close. The quality difference is not noticeable to the point where it's something I want to point out to you, but you can definitely tell there is a slight quality difference in the oils being used between the Oud Maracuja and the passion for oud. But that there in full, you're paying hundreds of dollars less. I don't know how much Oud Maracuja costs. I'll put it up there, but this one, I mean, again, you're getting it for $30, and it smells like $100 fragrance, and so that's where I think they really knocked it out of the park with this. It's still not in my wheelhouse, and I'll probably use this as a giveaway at some point in time, which I told Nafi at one point that I would. And a lot of his other fragrances I wear on the daily. But Passion for Oud is something that I definitely think that if you are interested in the rose oud combination and you want a nice tropical kick to it, then you definitely want to go with it. I haven't tried any other Oud Maracuja clones or inspired bys, but as far as smelling these side by side, I wouldn't even be bold saying it's an 85% similarity. They do a very, very good job. Is it the best one from the house as far as getting as close? No, I would probably still say that it's either going to be Golden Ember. Their Initio Side Effect clone is very close. And then Mystic Mint and Citrus is really nice. With that said, I would say that it's still really, really nice. And I would give this, if I would have to rank this based on just unbiased opinion, I would say that this is probably an 8.5 and this is an 8.3. I think it's very, very close, and I think that you should definitely give it a shot. But again, just a little bit darker than the original, a little bit more on the woody side. It does have a slight more bit of floral, because again, in that first 45 minutes of Oud Maracuja, you get more of that blasted rose and passion fruit. And yes, you get the passion fruit in the clone, but that starts to dissipate, and as that's dissipating, you're just getting more of the floral component until that oud starts to show up. So yeah, that is the Passion for Oud by ZOHA Aroma in Oud Maracuja. It's not something I'm going to wear, but it's something that I would consider wearing if my wife wasn't allergic, for sure. It's going to be more on the situational side. And as far as seasonal value for both of the fragrances, obviously they're clones of each other. They're going to be something that you're going to want to wear more night out, unless it's in the cool weather. Then you can wear it probably all day long. Again, I say it's more of like a beachy oudy fragrance, and so you probably could wear it on a boardwalk, but it's not a heat fragrance. I mean, no ruse, and at least in my opinion, it's not. It's definitely more higher quality. It's definitely more on that elegance, and so I would wear this in situations that you are dressing up a little bit more, in my opinion. But yeah, that is my opinion. I think it's an all-season fragrance, really. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about any of them, the clones, whatever. And again, I'll be back with another video. Peace out.